Ladies and gentlemen, may I proudly bring to you, this is WWE Raw review for the 3rd of February 2014. My gosh, we're in February already. My gosh, it's going quick, isn't it? Anyway, a lot to talk about. I'm your host, Soul, and in general, this event, WWE Raw, no one was none the wiser, quite frankly, in terms of what's happening, who's going to be fighting who, what's going to be happening for WrestleMania. You know, it's the road to WrestleMania, and there's as much questions they were answered last week. None have been answered this week, really, in my opinion. And not just that, the fact that CM Punk has left, that was the biggest question. What are they going to do? And quite frankly, they're not going to do anything about it. They're just going to carry on as normal business as usual. I just remember back in the day when, you know, if some wrestler just left, they wouldn't talk about him at all, wouldn't mention him, wouldn't do anything. And that's exactly the same thing that they did with CM Punk, even though the crowd was cheering for CM Punk at the beginning when Stephanie and Triple H came out, and but Triple H and Stephanie, they didn't come in the middle of a ring, and quite frankly, in my opinion, I think they didn't do that because, quite frankly, they were upset. There's something going on, and they're not happy with the situation, and it's not getting any better. And I think CM Punk has really actually gone, and he's not going to be back for at least 6 months, and who knows what's going to happen. And it's a tough time for the WWE, especially with the WWE Network, and in general, a lot of drama, real life drama is happening. So I guess this is a good time to be a WWE fan, because a lot of history is going to be made in terms of who knows what's with the WWE Network in terms of pay-per-views, etc. Are they going to remain at $9.99, or are they going to, you know, up the ante, or what exactly are they going to do? Because to be truthful, it is so damn cheap. I don't understand why it's so cheap, and especially going from $675 for the year for the pay-per-views to suddenly now $120 for over the year. You've got to be crazy not to sign up, in my opinion. And but not just that, how are they going to base the monetary sense? What I would like to look at is the pay-per-view buys over the years, over last year anyway. Has it been equal in terms of the actual pay-per-view buy rate? Was it, you know, equivalent to more or less not many people buying it? Therefore, it's not really much of a risk to take in terms of having the WWE Network as $9.99 with all the pay-per-views on it as well. Who knows? I'll talk about it more anyway later on. Now, straight out of the bat came Randy Orton, and Randy Orton, he's starting to do a little bit of smack talk nowadays. He's quite good. I think he's actually embraced the role as a villain, and he does it very, very well. The only unfortunate thing is he still complains and whines about and feels insecure, which is good though, and he talks about it, which is very, very good. And but I love the way he made fun of Batista, saying that jacked up, muscle-bound freak is, you know, I don't know if you know, but when you refer to someone as a jacked up person, muscle-bound freak, you're clearly insinuating he's not exactly playing by the rules in terms of the huge size that he is. He must be on some performance-enhancing drugs, or apparently. But it was very, very good in terms of you know, what he said. It's not normally like Randy to come out with these types of slogans, and it's good to see him come out of his shell. About time. But then Triple H and Stephanie came out, and they just came to the actual Titatron. They didn't go further than that. They didn't go towards the ring, which was really quite bizarre in my opinion. Because normally they always like to make it about themselves, but on this occasion they didn't want to, and it looked to me that they seemed upset. Generally they seemed very upset. Just by their facial reactions, they just seemed very upset. But they were saying that we may have to choose the neck of a new face, and it may have to be Daniel Bryan. Ooh, what's that all about? It really doesn't make any sense, considering the fact that they made him go through hell. Now they're suddenly changing the storyline and trying to make him the face of the WWE. You know, I mean, in a logical sense, in a storyline sense, it doesn't make sense at all. But in terms of a business sense, it's perfect, in my opinion, because quite frankly, the Seahawks tweeted to Daniel Bryan after the victory over whoever it was in Super Bowl. I'm sorry, I don't follow American football, unfortunately. And but apparently the Seahawks tweeted to Daniel Bryan for him to win and do good in the match, and so obviously it's the perfect time for him to be the face, and I think he will embrace the face and it will go very, very far. However, there is a aftertaste that we're all still quite confused of in terms of CM Punk. It just doesn't feel right now, and you could clearly hear it with everybody chanting CM Punk. Obviously they didn't chant it for too long because they, you know, we're human, we can't talk or cheer for that long periods of time. We're not designed for that. So they had to calm down and just relax after a bit. But anyway, it was okay. But later on, Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan would be facing each other. And it wouldn't be for the title, it would just be a match before Elimination Chamber where he would actually have to face the 5 other guys, other superstars who he's going to be facing in the Elimination Chamber, and whether he retains the championship or not, we will come to see. I don't know where they're going with this, really. It doesn't make any sense. I think somehow they're going to make Randy win this match, so therefore Randy winning the championship and facing Batista in WrestleMania. But I think the problem is WWE fans are too clever. We don't want to see Batista in the main event. If it was a Rock, you can understand. The thing is, the Rock's put a lot of hours, he's made wrestling huge. He was an entrepreneur, he was an ambassador for the sport, he was a guy who took professional wrestling to the next level. And whereas with Batista, he's just ridden the wave. He's just got opportunity and he's ridden it. No offense to Batista, you know, if you get the opportunity, you take it. However, he has just ridden the wave, and he went and trying to do movies, rode that wave as much as he could, because clearly his size, he looks appealing for some movie roles, and he rode that wave, and clearly there's not much happening with him except this Guardians of the Galaxy, which is going to be coming out in July, and quite frankly he's just come back for that, and you could clearly see he's just using the WWE to get his name recognized in the world of Hollywood. And to be truthful, for us WWE fans, as professional wrestling fans, it is quite insulting for them to expect us to cheer him on and accept the fact that he should be in the main event of WrestleMania against Randy Orton, or anybody for that sake. And quite frankly, fair play to his audience for booing him, you know, and not accepting him to be the main guy in the main spot of WrestleMania, because there's guys on the roster who've been working their butts off. It's like I said, if it was The Rock or something, fair enough. You know, Rock got criticized hugely. Hugely he got criticized, but whenever he did come down, he did the promos, he worked hard. It wasn't like he just came and talked a little bit or didn't do things. He tried to make the events entertaining. He had the Rock concert. He tried to entertain and be the best for us fans, and that was the thing about The Rock. He was truly the great one, because that's what he attempted to be, and he broke pay-per-view buys, in my opinion. The Rock did. But anyway, Shield faced Rey Mysterio, Kofi, Big E. This was a good match, and the Shield won. Roman Reigns got the victory rarely. However, Dean Ambrose tagged in and pinned Big E, and that infuriated Roman Reigns. Quite frankly, it was good that it infuriated him, and he was laughing at Dean Ambrose, and then they started to get in a bit of an argument. And then Seth Rollins tried to intervene and say, "Oh guys, come on, calm down, what's happening here, relax." And then suddenly, out of nowhere, the the village people, the Wyatts, came on the main screen, and they talked all kinds of analogies and innuendos, or whatever it was. It wasn't they tried to use a lot of analogies, actually, and Bray Wyatt, that's his name. And he was saying, the Empire is coming down, and you will realize who is the real king. And he was clearly going on about Triple H, saying that, you don't mess with the boss, and now your empire is going to be coming down, and big deal. And but it seemed very good. It seemed appropriate, and it was ideal, and I think this storyline will be good, because quite frankly this will last a few months till WrestleMania, and who knows, it might be the Wyatt family versus the Shield at WrestleMania. That will be a good, decent match, and hopefully the Shield may break up, then giving an opportunity for Roman Reigns to pursue his singles career, and I think that will happen in the future, very, very much so. Because Roman Reigns is definitely a guy who's nowadays, he knows what he wants, and he wants to go and get it, and wants to be the big shots in the WWE, and I think he can do it. I really do. I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think he can make it big time. And okay, after that, straight away, we had some bad news. And I love this stuff. Yeah, I really do. Like, I'm getting used to it. I hated it at the beginning. I really hated it. It just seems so. Why are they just using Wade Barrett all the time, and trying to give him the opportunity to talk some smack on the mic? But you know what? He's lived up to it, and he said he's given us some bad news, and he wants some decorum in the arena. And then he made fun of the Seahawks, and saying that everybody is stuffed their faces so badly that they're not going to be living till next year. Ha 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 ha. And then for some bizarre reason, Jerry Lawler got the mic and says, "I got some bad news, man. You might not be here next week." And it was like, what's up with that, Jerry? Why did you intervene first? Was there a reason, or did you just do that spontaneously? Did someone tell you in the back to do that? What was the reason? And I'm none the wiser. I'm really none the wiser. Now, on to the next match was Christian versus Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger is getting his rear end handed to him by a lot of the guys, because on SmackDown he didn't qualify for the Elimination Chamber match in the main event for Elimination Chamber, and it was Christian who qualified for that. Therefore, Christian versus Jack Swagger were having a wrestling match, and Christian won that match. It was an average match. It was a good match, but it was good to see that when Jack Swagger lost, and Zeb Coulter and getting angry at Jack Swagger for not winning that match. It was quite funny, and it was just entertaining, really, to see that would even happen again, because Jack Swagger just seems silly. He seems like a big guy for his size, and you think he doesn't move like he's just a big guy who's powerful, but in terms of natural ability, in terms of executing moves, he's not very good at it, in my opinion. And that's why it's good to see. Well, Christian won that match, and Cesaro was shaking his head. And I think that tag team may split up as well, and give an opportunity for Cesaro. I think that's what's happening, actually. I think that was one of the things what CM Punk was going to be angry about, because I think they wanted him to lose to Cesaro last week and give the push for Cesaro to be in the main event and push him forward, which, to be truthful, Cesaro has earned it. He has earned it, there's no doubt about it. And I think he should have, CM Punk should have taken that opportunity and given it to Cesaro for the main event, because it would have saved him in terms of taking a beating in the Elimination Chamber. Because, come on, the Elimination Chamber is harsh on the body without a doubt. And not only that, but I do agree with CM Punk in terms of the main events of the evening in WrestleMania. I think against Triple H, I don't think it was a win situation for CM Punk. I think Triple H would have made it. No, Triple H would have done good, but in terms of making it a special occasion, special match, I don't know, really. I'm on the fence on that, actually, now. No, actually, I do think CM Punk and Triple H would have been a good main event if he really played the cards right, really. I can't see what problem he would have had with facing Triple H, because Triple H is the game and he's famous for it. And I remember the storyline a few years back when Randy Orton was in his house and Triple H came and tried to attack him, and they could have worked it very, very well with Triple H. They really could have, because I still remember that till this day. And it would have definitely elevated CM Punk, but who knows what the situation is. But he might have thought of some other ideas with wrestling someone else. I do not know. That's the unfortunate thing. No one knows the clear details of why exactly. Obviously, he didn't want to. If it was for the Antonio Cesaro and getting beat by him, then, which I very much doubt it is. I think that would be silly. I think Cesaro has earned his opportunity. He is a brilliant wrestler, much better wrestler than CM Punk. Technically, I'm saying. On the mic, no, he's not. But on the technical aspect, he's much better than wrestler than Punk. But at the same time, I don't see what was the problem with fighting Triple H. Maybe Triple H wanted a bit more, wanted to win the match in WrestleMania or something along the line of that. Who knows? But I don't know what his plans were. That's the thing with CM Punk. I wish we knew his plans, what he wanted to do. Maybe he didn't know himself, and he just felt as though, I don't know. I think that main event would have been good, to be truthful now, when I think about it, in terms of Triple H. Because if you make it into a no disqualification match, my gosh, you can make it into anything. You can make it in a cage match, you can make it a Hell in a Cell in WrestleMania. My gosh, that would be a good match with Triple H. And by all means, he could have worked it. They could have worked it very, very well. However, who knows? We will find out in the coming months. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, the New Age Outlaws were facing the Rhodes. My gosh, this was a crazy match. It was a good match to watch. I think especially for the big moonsault that Cody Rhodes did off the top rope, and I think he clearly saw Kurt Angle do that. A couple of weeks back, Kurt Angle did that on TNA Impact. No, TNA Genesis, that was, sorry. And against Bobby Roode, that's who Kurt Angle did it, and I think, Cody Rhodes did the same thing. He went in the top cage of the cage and did a moonsault, but he landed on Road Dogg, and but straight after that, what's his name? Billy Gunn did the famouser and finished him off. Finished Cody Rhodes off, and the Rhodes lost the match, making New Age Outlaws still champions of the world. My gosh, at the end of the match, when Road Dogg was walking, it seemed like he couldn't walk. He must have caught his arm really, really bad when he landed that moonsault on top of him. And who knows? I think he's okay, because I've not heard any reports about the Outlaws in terms of their health or anything like that. So I think the Road Dogg's fine. But it was good to see just that moonsault off the top of the cage. You don't normally see that in WWE Raw. You would normally see that on a pay-per-view event. However, on this occasion, we were lucky. Now, Titus O'Neil is a new guy on the horizon. He's a guy who everybody's trying to build up now. And, quite frankly, they just need to hand him the mic now, I think. He faced Zack Ryder, and Miz came out suddenly. And it was like, what the heck is Miz doing? And then he came out and he talked to, what's his name? Not Jim Ross, JBL. He came to JBL and said he was complaining about the fact that Zack Ryder has got a spot on WWE Raw, and why should he get it when he's a good wrestler? And then he walked off. And well, fair play. And the thing is, looking at the Wrestling Observer, they're apparently building up The Miz and Dolph Ziggler to be disgruntled members of the wrestling community who want an opportunity and not getting it, and they could work this very well. And I think this will work. I really do. I think they'll be a good tag team. I think if they work, I think their chemistry, because I saw them on an interview, both of the guys, I saw them on an interview with, I'm not too sure who it was. I can't remember the guy's name. But anyway, it was on a video interview, that was, and they have a good chemistry between each other, and I think they could be like, if they work it like the DX was, it could work very, very well. I think Miz and Ziggler, they could work it like DX, and it will work very, very well. But anyway, enough about them guys. That will be happening anyway in the future, in a couple of weeks, and so they're building them up to do that. Titus O'Neil won that match. Whoopie-doo, we didn't see that coming, did we? Come on. And then Fandango came out and did a dance-off with Santino. Well, apparently he was going to do a dance-off with Santino, but we found out that it was Summer Rae versus this new NXT cast, Evolution. And Evolution won. There's nothing I can say about this except nothing. It's just not worth talking about. It really isn't. It's just time to fill, I guess. They've got about 10 minutes. Let's fill this up with someone doing something stupid. Let's get Fandango and Santino to do something crazy, and there it is. Now, Sheamus faced Curtis Axel. Now, I have to say, Kurt Axel, it turned out to be a good match, and I think it kind of built him up in terms of him as a wrestler. I think the WWE need to do, when they're doing commentating, they need to build up wrestlers who aren't at the best. You know, they need to build up the characters, but build up who where they came from, where they've been wrestling, etc. And I think Kurt Axel was one of them guys. They should have built him up and talked about him a bit more during the match of Sheamus, because he did take a whipping, and he did give a whipping to Sheamus as well. And obviously Ryback was on the bottom of the, outside the ring as a cheerleader, and but in the end it was a good match. It was definitely a good match to watch. You could watch it because it was back and forth, as well as that was very physical. You didn't expect Curtis Axel to do very, very good. However, he did, and he won. He lost the match, obviously, and Sheamus won that match. And well, he was calling out Ryback, and a spoiler for you here, in SmackDown, Sheamus beat Ryback as well. But anyway, that was one of them things. I don't know where they're going to go with this. I think if they have Sheamus versus Ryback in WrestleMania, that will be a good thing. And that will be the end of it. And Batista next came out. Now this was a bit of a weird situation. Apparently the WWE locker room didn't want, well, not the locker room, the WWE people in the back didn't want Batista to get booed this time, so they made him talk about something about, made him do a promo and talk about the place that they were at, and they're really building Batista up as well. And then Del Rio came out, my gosh, and then he talked a bunch of smack, and Batista said, "Look, man, I don't have a problem with you. Why are you even coming out to me?" And then Del Rio carried on saying, "This is not me. You've annoyed me, and you think it's all gonna go away, and you think you can do this and all of that." And Batista said, "Look, man, I just don't know what you're on about. I don't have a problem with you. You can do what you like." Then suddenly, Del Rio started punching him in the face and catching him. And Batista was gonna ended up almost doing the Batista bomb, but then Del Rio ran out, and then Del Rio left, and he was at the Titatron, and Batista did some promo, but at that time they went to a commercial, clearly because I think they didn't want him to get booed or anything like that. And then when they came back, Batista was livid, and it seems as though Batista versus Del Rio will be the case in Elimination Chamber, the match between them two, and that will be good to watch. Them two guys, I'd say that was a good promo, and it was just a good way to do it, and I think there is some truth to it in terms of Del Rio saying that as you were out in the waiting for your movie agent to call you, we were out being champion, and suddenly now you coming out doing all this. But Batista did the best reply, which was, "Look, I haven't got a problem with you, so what the hell are you got? What the heck is it? You just stay away from me." And then he was taking a whipping. Okay, straight after that, Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, Xavier fought the Wyatts. Now, quite frankly, this was a long match, and I can't remember actually who won that match. Look, it wasn't entertaining. I think the Wyatts won that match somehow, and but I do remember this. At the end of it, the Shield cut a promo, and they were at the top of. They were on the main screen, and Dean Ambrose was saying, "Oh gosh, whoopee-doo, you guys are being so damn scary. Oh, I'm really scared, man." And they cut the promo and inviting the Wyatts to basically come at them and take their best shot, because the Shield will reign supreme, and that's one of the best things about this. They are cutting the promo, and the Shield versus the Wyatts seems very appropriate, and I think it will be good to see them two teams lock down and face each other, and who knows who will win. But it will be good to see. It will definitely be good to see in WrestleMania. I think them two teams will face each other, and then the Shield will break up for a little while, may form back again some other time. But I think it's a good opportunity for Roman Reigns to move forward with that. But in truth, I do feel if Roman Reigns does go on his own and tries to make it on his own, I think the WWE are going to botch it up. I don't know why, I just have a feeling that they've always botched wrestlers' careers up when they're pushing them. They give them the opportunity, but they only give them a few months to make the most and build the ratings, and quite frankly that's wrong. John Cena didn't have that opportunity. He had years and years of opportunity to build himself up and build the ratings and etc. He didn't just get the title and lose it a couple of months later on. He didn't do that. He held the title and kept it for a long time. And not only that, the WWE basically give John Cena the opportunity to design his own belt, which is wrong in my opinion, because quite frankly they made this spinner belt and they made the US title spinner belt, and what the heck, they gave him too much opportunity, and in my opinion they've not done that with any other wrestler. I do feel as though that is unfair with a lot of wrestlers. I think with CM Punk, the least they could have done was bring back the ice cream bars at least. And but yeah, I do feel as though that they've pushed John Cena so much. I do feel as though they're not going to give enough push to Roman Reigns, and I think that he's going to mess up, and then the Shield will get back together pretty soon. Now, on to the main events of the evening. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan. This was a good match, and I wouldn't want to give you a spoiler. I wouldn't want to tell you what the ending of this match, because it was a good match to watch. So but I will tell you, but I will give you the opportunity now to pause this right now if you don't want to know what the ending of the match is. Okay, so you pause it now. Okay. Now, anyway, spoiler wise, Daniel Bryan won the match, and it was good. It was a singles match. They both fought each other. In the end, Daniel Bryan won the match. It was good to watch. It was just back and forth, good old-fashioned wrestling, and Daniel Bryan won that match. Now, at the end of the match, Kane came and chokeslammed Daniel Bryan, which was good for Randy Orton because he put up these titles and is going to help him get rid of some of the wrestlers in Elimination Chamber. Now, where are we going with this in Elimination Chamber? I don't know, man. I really don't know. But what I do see is, though, I do see the fact that Randy Orton is going to win the Elimination Chamber. My prediction is he's going to keep the title up till WrestleMania. In WrestleMania he will lose the title, and that will be the end of it, of Randy Orton. Now, that's it. That's it from me. I unfortunately couldn't find out what was happening with CM Punk, but in my opinion I think CM Punk is gone. And I think he's going to go to... He's going to take... Sorry about my cold. I really apologize about that. But yeah, I do feel as though CM Punk is now going to be contemplating whether he wants to wrestle now or not. I think he might be contemplating going to MMA, trying MMA for a couple of fights. Maybe next year come back and do WrestleMania 31. I think that will be the ideal scenario for him. I hope he does that. I really do. It'll give him time to cool down and think things through and reinvigorate himself, because I think at the moment I don't feel as though he's feeling he has a challenge that he can enjoy in the WWE, and I think he feels as though that with Triple H he cannot have a good challenge for WrestleMania, and it will just be lame. My opinion is different. I think it will be a good match. It depends on CM Punk if they can work it out. But if they literally don't get along with each other, then what can we do? We can't, force people to like each other. and work with each other, can we? But it will be good to see. Anyway, thanks for listening. Have a great day. Please share, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you again for listening to this. Have a great day. Peace.